Recording. Hi everyone, this is Deborah McDonald coming to you from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And believe it or not, it's a snowy day. It's April 9th and we just had another snowfall. So I don't get this weather, but I hope wherever you are, it's got some warmth coming to you because we have people coming in from all over North America. And I think there's some people coming out from other parts of the world as well. So thanks so much for being here. Again, my name is Deborah McDonald from Ottawa and I'm your host for tonight. And I really want to welcome you and just to share so many insights on what we have going here. But let me get my webinar started so I can get the slides going. So give me 1 second here. Okay, great. So here we go. I want to welcome you again. It's just been really a lot of fun putting this all together because a lot of people are looking for freedom, and it's either financial, health freedom, many different ways, but it means different things to different people, of course. And so when you're talking about financial freedom, we want to be able to plan it for it. We want to be able to profit, and we want to be able to be on purpose. And that's what's really big for me, these 3 Ps for financial freedom. And so it might mean different things to you, but for me, it means working less, making more, and having fun. And I mean, who doesn't want some of that, right? And fortunately, in the last couple of years, I've been able to work from anywhere because of the financial freedom. So it has more to it than just money, you might say. There's a lot of meaning behind it all. So I really am excited about sharing some insights today and some ideas. And I would say take some notes, get a pen out, put your feet up, have a glass of wine, a cup of tea, whatever it is that works for you. And I'm just going to share a whole bunch of good stuff tonight. There will be a few freebies for you at the end, and that's pretty much it. I hope that you take this all in and enjoy the webinar. So let's get started. Now, I'm going to start with way back in the day when I was a kid. I was a little farm girl, I guess you might say, growing up in Alberta. I was one of 4 siblings, and my parents always taught us to, really take care of the land, be there. They had incredible work ethic, and they really passed that on to us. And they really talked about, building something for yourself. And I think that's where the whole idea was that they used to say, if you invest in land, if you invest in real estate, it's going to benefit you down the road. It's not just about having cash in your pocket. It's about building assets. But what's interesting about this is that up until the age of 13, we did not have any indoor plumbing. So we lived in a 4-room home where it was just, the kitchen, the living room, the couple of bedrooms upstairs, and we all had to share everything. So I really got used to sharing and being there for the family. But what's really cool about it is that it just brought a whole lot of integrity into my life because of the way that we were brought up. So the roots are there, the earth, everything. So I was very fortunate to have that. We didn't have much money, but we certainly were rich in other ways. So at the age of 21, I said, I'm going to have a sports car. When I left high school from the farm, went to the big city and said, I'm going to have a sports car. And I want to tell you about this because it just gives you an idea of where I'm coming from and why I'm teaching what I'm teaching these days. And this little red sports car, I call it my freedom car. This was on the road from Edmonton to Vancouver through the Rocky Mountains with a really good friend of mine. And this was freedom for us. And I had this car for over 10 years. I paid $3,500 back in the day, so that was 21. And I saved by having 3 jobs and putting myself through school. And I paid cash. It was crazy. And then at the age of 24, I bought my first townhouse and paid $56,000. And I just did a little Google search on it. It's like $240,000 now. But I decided to, I just had that feeling that I had to buy real estate. And then at the age of 25, I ended up buying a franchise. This opportunity came along, and so I owned a store in West Edmonton Mall called Merle Norman Cosmetics and did that for a few years until I met my husband and a pilot in the military. So things kind of changed in this military life for us. We moved all over the place 20 times in 10 years. But, it led me to a new career. I had to sell my franchise. I sold my condo, and we moved to Winnipeg, and then we moved all over the place. But in the meantime, I had picked up this job as a trainer, corporate trainer for Estee Lauder for Western Canada. Such a great job. All of the things I did in my jobs and in my careers were amazing. I totally enjoyed them. At one point, we managed to live in Italy for 3 years on a posting, so that was really exciting. And then when I came back, I started into the home-based business world and started building teams within the network marketing profession, and then started investing in real estate. And that's kind of my story. And then I'm going to have, of course, some more recent things happen that I'll be talking about. But going from farmer's daughter to franchise owner to military life and so on and so forth. And now I mentor and teach people how to actually, build this freedom lifestyle. But it doesn't always come that easy. So when we were in Toronto, our couple of different moves that we had already been through, we were pregnant with our second child, and unfortunately at birth this little one didn't make it. She did not survive. And so that was the tragedy that just knocked us over like crazy. We didn't really know where we were going, what we were doing, but we still had to carry on. We moved to another city within just a few months because of the military life, and from there, we ended up just looking at our lives and going, I said to myself, what am I doing here? Do I still want to be on this treadmill of life? And here we were with both of us driven with careers, very excited. We traveled all the time, and we had a nanny and the whole thing. Or did we want this more freedom lifestyle that I was looking to have? But it didn't hit me until the wall happened with this whole tragedy. So I want to have you ask yourself this, just write down, what is it that is your why? Why do you want to do what you're doing? How do you want to live on purpose? For me, it's my family. There's no question. Here we are in Santorini, Greece. The kids were little at the time. It was a great lifestyle at that time, but didn't come without sacrifices as well. And so here they are now. I've also gained a son-in-law, which is very cool. This is many years later, but this is why I do what I do, and that's my purpose. And the most recent addition to our family has made my purpose and my why even greater, is this little gal. Her name is Bauer. She's 4.5 months old. Here she is with my son. They have the same hairstyle. She was born with a lot of hair, so we just had to grab that picture, and here she is at the bottom at 4.5 months, just the sweetest little thing. And you know what? It looks like she's starting to be a young driver as well. She's a cutie. So just had to share that. But let's really talk about what is it for you, this why, this purpose? Like, why do you want to be doing what you're doing? I mean, we talk about, this is a great illustration about the dream circle. Like, we have all of these dreams out there. Like, maybe you want to be a stay-at-home parent. Maybe you want family vacations. Maybe you want family time, a new home, a new car, whatever it might be. But do you hold yourself back because this income circle is just so small, and sometimes it just doesn't support the dream life that we're looking for? And it's just a known fact out there that people are living paycheck to paycheck, and half the time they can't do the things that they want to do unless they get deep into debt. So, when I look back at that little freedom car I had back in my early 20s, I didn't have a vision board. I didn't even know what it meant at the time. But what I did know is that I've been manifested that. I felt it and I wanted it somewhere deep inside of me, because it meant freedom for me. And it also meant just accomplishment and purpose. And so I just want you to think about that. That's why we're talking about planning, profiting, and purpose. Here's something that kind of struck me when I first saw this slide years ago is, what are we doing about our financial future? Because sometimes we're very comfortable, and, I was in my early 40s when I first started in the home-based business arena and came back from Italy, and started to think about, what do I want to do with my life after that whole time frame where we lost our little one, and then moving to Europe and having another child and that kind of thing. So I just want you to think about this, but this slide shows things that we have to think about. People at 65 were surveyed, and 54% are dependent on Social Security and the government. 36% are still working. That could be people at Walmart that you see, Home Depot, and they may be enjoying it because it's social, but really is it giving them what they need to be able to do the things they want to do. 5% are deceased, 4% are okay with 1 million, and 1% are wealthy with 5 million. So we're going to talk about multiple income streams and how to plan for the future, and because saving for a rainy day is just not as easy as it used to be. And I'm not sure if it ever was. When I first started in my first home-based business, which was a health and wellness company, I met Bob Proctor. He was our coach and mentor for our company. And he introduced us to this paradigm shift. I'm going to say that because I really had a lot to shift. And there's 3 different strategies here, the M1, M2, M3. And it's all about multiple sources of income. So M1 is your trading time for money. It's just what most people do, which is 90%, it's 96% of the population. M2 is, people that are working and have money, but they want to invest into different ways that they can invest. But the problem with that is only 3% of the population. They don't have the money to invest. Again, people are working paycheck to paycheck. The M3 strategy is all about leverage. It's about leveraging your time and your money, and then also being able to leverage other people as well. And this concept is where you get freedom. This is only 1% of the population. And this is why I decided to go this direction and really work towards M3 strategy. Now, you can do this part-time while you're still working in a full-time job. There's no problem with that at all. And Warren Buffett even says, never depend on a single income. And J.P. Getty, who is the first billionaire in the US, said, I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts. So I hope that, makes you think a little bit more about how you can be building residual income. This is just a quick slide that I wanted to share with you. My home-based business that I'm working in the health and wellness arena is a win-win business model. And here's where it's showing recurring residual revenue. So I get notifications in my email box every single day, every single week that your team is growing, your customers are growing, and this is how residuals start to happen. We won't be going into the business building side of it because that's just another program on its own, and that's what I do in my leadership coaching. But I want to just give you an overview today of what is possible and possible for you. I want to talk about the power of leveraging. I know many of you are on this call are familiar with Robert Kiyosaki. He's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and also the Cash Flow Quadrant. And he says the richest people in the world build networks. Everyone else is trained to look for work. So all of this, it was such an insight for me to just take on this and to study it. And so when I discovered the cash flow quadrant after learning, all about Bob Proctor's M1, M2, M3 strategies, life really changed because I started to study even more about how we could have residual income, how we can build assets. I mean, we were fairly comfortable in our military life and our one income through that after, I had to quit my jobs and so on because we were moving all the time. But to me, it wasn't enough to really build on the lifestyle that I wanted. And sure, it's great to be comfortable, but there's more we can do. And a lot of it is about giving back and being there and having a meaningful life and a freedom lifestyle as well. So really think about this one. So the quadrant, the cash flow quadrant really got my attention. I have been on both sides, the left side, the employee. I was definitely an employee with different positions I had, and I was also self-employed. So I experienced all of this. And this is where we are fairly, say, comfortable, but we're also in a scarcity mindset. And scarcity mindset, I should say. And then on this side, the B quadrant and the I quadrant is where you have the abundance mindset. I really wanted to jump over from this side over to this side when I started to learn about this. And I wanted to own a business that had a system and that people I could work with, that we would be able to leverage each other. And that's exactly what we're doing in the network marketing arena right now. And then investing your money for, having your money work for you. We've heard of this many times. I mean, financial planners talk about it and so on, but there's even more to it that I want to describe here. So I hope you're along with me here and doing well. I'm talking to my slides right now, so I want to be able to share a little bit more with you here. This is an interesting visual because Robert Kiyosaki, again, he comes in and talks about the balance sheet and your income statement. And this is what most people do. 90% out there who are making 10% of the riches out there, I guess the money out there, they take their income and they bypass the assets, go into buying liabilities, things that they maybe don't need or aren't understanding. Yes, we do have some liabilities, but you want to work towards buying assets. Instead, what they do is it becomes an expense and then the money's gone and out the window. In this case here, the 10% who make 90% are taking their income and investing it into assets, and then they're reinvesting back so that they can build some more income, residual income, and then it continues to do that. I love this slide, so I hope that it resonates for you as well. Okay, moving on. So we talked about the three things: the planning, the profit, and the purpose. And I just kind of put this together to share with you. I'm a visual person, and I just like to have a visual to look at everything, kind of a map, if you might say, I might say. So the planning here, the wealth plan, is really about using the M3 strategy. So using the concept of leverage and the concept of residual passive income, and then being able to be working towards the B and the I quadrant. It doesn't always start out right at the beginning when you're building this, but that was the plan to work towards that. And then to use, to bring in profits through that residual income business model that I'm involved in, and that you must look for aside from your day job, because your day job will not get you enough, depending on what your lifestyle goals are. And then being able to profit with rental properties. And then it comes back to this, is both of these will only happen if you have that purpose. So what is your why? What are you doing this for? For me, it's family, and for me, it's also giving back. And I'm fortunate to be working with a company that gives back as we build our businesses. So we're fortunate to already have 18 million servings of food to these kids in need in just 3 years. So here we are in Mexico. We're with former President Fox and his wife Marta up here, unloading a truck of food for these kids that are in orphanages. Here we are, our team members are here. We're all banding together here, collaborating to make this impact. And then here's me with a couple of the kids out there. We just met so many children at the orphanages and had such a really wonderful, meaningful time doing that. So I want to ask you, how are you giving back? Some people will give back in many different ways, but the good thing is that this is a built-in model within my business, which is called social business. It's about social giving. And that's what we're doing, is helping to eradicate malnutrition around the world. But more on that, if you want to have any more information, I'd certainly be welcome to talk to you about that. So just quickly here, I'm going to just throw this slide up here because we went from 0 to 10 properties in just 5 years. And I used my business income to buy the rental properties. So that was that wealth plan that we were talking about. And then I built more and more teams in my health and wellness business. So it's that win-win profit model, all about residual income, and then reinvesting back into the properties to create more profit. So when you think about it, I've got multiple streams within the one vehicle, which is the health and wellness company, and then I've got multiple streams within my rental properties. So there's 2 vehicles, but one is the first business building one, which then feeds the investment, and then this investment creates more income. So it's multiple streams within 2 vehicles. This little image here, so basically I was able to make us become mortgage free on our personal property, and I doubled my net worth in that short period of time, and was able to even give back even more. So we do support a number of different charities. So we're always looking to give back. And in this case here, this is like the network business feeds this and creates income through that. So both businesses and real estate are assets that can be sold. So I really talk about building assets and looking at where you're at in your life so that it becomes a wealth generating type legacy income, if you will. So you can't do this alone though. And you have to do some studying too, and learning, and be open to coaching and mentoring. And that's exactly what I did. This is my coach here, Kathy Doman. She's become a great friend of mine, and we were at Beyond Leadership in Vegas this last summer. We continue to learn all the time and help our teams grow. We're with a company that is all about purpose. They only built this business to be able to give back. That is their number one thing, more so than anything else. And then here's Eric Worre, one of my mentors that I absolutely love. He's teaching people around the world how to be professional in our business model and to really build a life that they truly desire. And then at the bottom here, we've got Robert Kiyosaki. Believe it or not, this is my son. He was 13. He's now 26. So we were at his workshop in Toronto I took this little guy and he just loved it. And we just learned so much from Robert, seeing him in person, even though I've read every single book and studied his entire programs and so on. And then my mentor, Garrett McGraw from the Association of Network Marketing Professionals, just another incredible person. He's Irish and he has a great laugh. So just, you have to hang out with people that you really want to learn from, grow from, and their success is your success because you learn from them. So along the way, I decided to write a book. This is one of the things I never thought I would ever do. And then with Bob Proctor's training and with all the coaching and mentoring I received, it was like, it opens up my mind. The real estate investing courses that I did, it opens up my mind to say, I can do this too. Because sometimes we have all these limiting beliefs and we have to be able to change our mindset. And I really do a lot of teaching around mindset as well and skill sets. So I decided to put my stamp of authorship in there too. So what are some of the things that come up for you? A lot of people say, I don't have enough time. There's just not enough hours in a day or hours in a week. And I just heard that the other day from someone as well on my team. So if I only had so much more time, we don't. It's just, this is what we have. We have 168 hours a week, 56 hours for sleeping, 40 hours for working, 35 hours for eating, showering, traveling, etc. And then we have 37 hours, enough time to pursue your dream. And so when you start looking at building a side business, you can do this between 10 and 15 hours a week to start with, and then start to build it from there. And that's exactly what I did. So what I recommend is that when you're building your side business, you have to choose one that has a system. And this is why, because systems will save yourself time, energy, and money. It's my favorite acronym. And Michael Gerber always refers to business in his E-Myth book is work on your business, not in your business. So there's lots of truth in all of that. So I want to ask you, what is your freedom vehicle? Where are you planning to go with this? Doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are, you can do this. Doesn't matter at all. I started investing at age 45 and started my business is like probably about age 42. And so it's a lot of fun. And if you really pick the right thing, you might have to go through a couple of different opportunities to find the right one, but definitely choose one that has a residual income element to it. Quick little idea here is like, look for residual income. Like I said, even if you have to work at it on the side, and then buy assets, and then bring it back to some more residuals and create that high net worth. So I have a few gifts for you tonight, and I'm just so grateful that you're here tonight and being able to share some of this experiences, I guess, with you. I've studied it. I've gained a lot of knowledge over the years. I love teaching people and I love providing value. And so hopefully you did see some value tonight. And so what I have for you tonight that I will pass on through your email from your registration is the free ebook. It's the 7 Secrets to Living Your Dream Lifestyle. So it's actually pretty cool. And then I have free weekly articles that I'll get you signed up on for. And I also have a free coaching call specifically to you. So it would be a 20 to 30 minute call. I'll send you my calendar and you can book a time from there that works with you. And I just really want to thank you for being here. And I hope that you received some value and found it fun as well. So just to close off here, this is my mantra. Work less, make more, have fun, work from anywhere, everywhere. Build your empire. It's just so much fun. Zig Ziglar says, if you can have everything in life you want, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help other people get what they want. It's so true, and that's why I believe in helping people and working together and collaborating, and that's what we do within our business. So, and Wayne Gretzky always says, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, and that's my slide presentation here. I'm just going to stop the share for a moment and come back to you on the main screen. And just want to thank you so much again for being here tonight. You can reach out to me anytime, and within the next 24 hours, I will be sending you that information that I just mentioned in the webinar. So thanks again for being here. This was my gift to you, being able to share some of the insights from building wealth, creating, more assets, business building, and really, really appreciate you all. So have a great night. Thanks again for being here.